Yu Otasaka is a high school boy who discovers he can control someone for 5 seconds. He doesn't know why he has this power. He uses it for simple things like making people he dislikes fight or to cheat on tests, which helps him become a top student. Yu is handsome, so many girls like him, but he only has eyes for Yumi Shirayanaji, a school star girl. He saves her from a truck to win her heart, and she thanks him with food. Everything is great until now Tomori, the student council president of another school, catches him cheating. She teams up with a boy named Jojiro Takajo. Jojiro is a boy who can run super fast. Together with Nao, they make Yu change schools to Hashinemi Academy, where students with powers study. These powers, seen as a teen illness, will vanish over time. Nao shows her power to turn invisible to just one person to prove it. After convincing Yu, he learns he will join the school's student council to stop people misusing their powers. Back home, Yu's younger sister, Ayumi, shares that they'll both go to Hashinemi Academy on a scholarship, thanks to their uncle. They also get a new apartment near the school. Here, Yu's new life at the academy begins. At this school, he learns that people with abilities have been used for science experiments. Nao emphasizes that they should stay united. The student council's main job? Find and either help or warn those with powers. In the council room, they meet a helper who gives them a task. Find someone who can imprint mental images onto surfaces. They go to a school looking for someone who can put images onto things with their mind. They split up to search. Suddenly, they chase a shady student. Nao tells Yu to jump into the student's mind so they can catch him. Chijiro tackles the boy, and in his stuff, Nao finds inappropriate pictures. They learn these photos came from a guy named Yudo, the archery team leader. When confronted, Yudo says he's doing it to help his sick parents. He tries to scare Nao with pictures of her, but it doesn't work. Nao warns Yudo about misusing his powers, and they leave him be. Next day, Nao shares a personal story with Yu. She speaks of her brother Kazuki, who was the first with special powers. Just as he was getting a music deal, they were sent to a boarding school on their mom's request. A scientist there did bad tests on Kazuki, leaving him in a mental facility, not recognizing his own sister. They visit Kazuki, who's in a bad state, but after calming him, they take him outside. Yu thinks there might be a way to help him. They get a new task. They find a singer named Yusa Nishimori, who can communicate with the dead and control fire. When searching, a man approaches asking why they want Yusa. Nao says they can help her because of her special skills. The man brings them to Yusa. They find out Yusa's powers are unique. She can let her late sister Misa take over her body. Misa then uses fire powers. Yusa doesn't know about this, thinking she's just sleepwalking. While in Yusa's body, Misa reveals she took a gadget after a TV show, and it has info against a big TV guy. Nao says they'll handle it and sets up a meeting to return the gadget to the TV guy's team. They meet with the TV producer. While there, Misa takes over Yusa and makes a fireball. Their friends pretend to be the producer's bodyguards and scare him. The plan works and the TV guy runs off. Nao asks Yusa/Misa to join their special school for safety. The next day, Yusa becomes super popular at the school. Nao then introduces her to a new task. Find a student who can move things with his mind. They see a video of a baseball player using this power to cheat. They go to the school's baseball field and talk to him. He doesn't admit it. Nao tells him powers only last until they're adults. To prove his skill, they decide to play a friendly baseball game. They form a team and start playing against the baseball player's team. During a baseball game, Nao, Otasaka, Chojiro, and Misa, inside Yusa's body, use their special skills to win. After, they tell Arifumi to stop cheating with his power. Next, the team gets a tip about someone who can float. They read a magazine about a flying man and decide to camp in the mountains to find him. One night, Otasaka sees Nao listening to music. She tells him it's by a band her brother loved. They share a moment talking about music. Nao dreams of making a music video for that band. She gives Otasaka her music player. Later, they realize the flying man is watching them. When they're cooking corn, he comes over and talks to them. But he can't make them leave, even though he wants to fly. A guy tries to steal Nao's camera. To stop him, she traps him in a well. But he uses his power to fly out. Otasaka controls his body to bring him back. Nao tells him about the risks of their powers. The man, Sato, promises not to misuse his flying dream. Otasaka finds his sister Ayumi sick. The group learns about a new case. Someone can make people faint and lies nearby. Since powers are for young people, Nao thinks it's a sick student. Otasaka fears it's Ayumi. They visit her and find her with 3 friends, including a boy, Oikawa, she turned down. That night, Ayumi mentions a scary dream about the ground breaking. Otasaka advises her to stay home. But she sneaks to school. There, Oikawa invites her for food, but she says no. Another girl, Kanashi, accuses Ayumi of stealing Oikawa. Scared, Ayumi sees Kanashi with a knife. She tries to calm her, but things escalate. A boy tries to run but gets trapped in school. Just as danger nears, the ground breaks because of his sister Ayumi's new powers. The team arrives to seeing a collapsed building. Otasaka rushes to find Ayumi, but a rock falls on him. He wakes up in a clinic, learning Ayumi died. Devastated, Otasaka eats only instant noodles and avoids friends. Yui tries cheering him up, but he rejects her. Running out of food, he buys noodles but doesn't return home. He hides in a distant comic cafe, wasting time playing games, eating junk, and starting fights using his powers. One day, he discovers drugs from a guy he beat. As he's about to try it, Nao suddenly appears and stops him. He's surprised to see her. Otasaka is shocked to see Nao, who reveals she's been invisibly watching over him, blaming herself for Ayumi's death. Angry, he confronts her, but she sues him and offers him a home-cooked meal at Chijiro's house. She makes a dish Ayumi loved. Gradually, Otasaka starts healing with his friend's support. Later, Nao gathers everyone to invite them to a Jin concert. Otasaka gets a ticket. After school, he meets a woman who looks familiar. They dine together, and he realizes she's the lead singer of Jin, Sala Shane. Sala senses his sadness. He opens up about Ayumi's passing. After dinner, he takes Sala to Ayumi's memorial at home. Before leaving, he asks if Sala would meet Nao, a big fan of Jin. Nao doesn't agree to meet, so Otasaka takes Sala to visit Kazuki, hoping to revive his memories. On the journey, Sala reveals she traded her sight for her singing career. At the hospital, a distressed Kazuki, previously a fan of Sala's band, seems to recognize her voice when she sings to calm him. He even recalls his sister Nao. Afterwards, Otasaka gets a call from Nao, grateful for helping Kazuki. They reunite at Jin's concert, and he's taken aback seeing Nao dressed casually. Watching the performance, Otasaka recalls a memory. He and Ayumi at a hospital. They're for testing due to their unique abilities. We learn they have another brother, Shunsuke, who can time travel. Otasaka ponders about his power being underestimated as just controlling someone for 5 seconds, fearing they'd imprison him like Shunsuke if they knew its full extent. A man, Kimigami, approaches and hints at finding someone with telepathy. He instructs Otasaka to control someone and then shares the telepath's location. While eating in a private room, Amy mentions that Kumigami and the 3 others are separated due to their exceptional abilities, though it's unclear what those abilities are. Later, guards take Amy away. Otasaka tries to intervene, but is subdued. Awakening to an earthquake, he learns that Amy's hidden power was activated, causing the disturbance. Since she's too potent, there are plans to eliminate her. This forces Otasaka to act. His true power, it emerges, is to absorb others' abilities. Reaching the telepath, Otasaka acquires his skill. As he spotted, a mysterious woman incapacitates a guard using her mind but then faints, helped by a friend. As Otasaka navigates, he communicates mentally with his restrained brother, Shansuke, warning him about Amy's predicament. Suddenly, gas fills the corridors. Shichino, one of Kumigami's allies, offers his power to Otasaka, allowing him to move through solid objects. As guards shoot at Shichino, Otasaka uses the new ability to pass through barriers. Otasaka finally reaches his older brother and releases him. Just in time, Shinsuke uses his time-traveling power as guards barge in. Flashing back to the present, Otasaka wakes beside Nao, who says he fainted at the concert. He mentions he may have another brother. Enter Kumigami, their informant on people with unique powers. He explains that Otasaka can prevent Ayumi's death with Shinsuke's power. They travel to a hidden place where a now-blind Shinsuke awaits. A memory reveals young Shinsuke, Otasaka, and Ayumi at breakfast. Young Shinsuke foresees their capture. Later, after developing his power, he befriends Kumigami and others. These include Shichino, who can phase through walls, Midoki, who lulls people to sleep but also falls asleep, and Minamori, who can erase memories. Together, they form a covert team of teens with abilities. To fund their mission, Shinsuke repeatedly travels back in time to place winning bets, but excessive use of his power affects his sight. Despite this, he's relived his 15th birthday countless times. While having a meal, young Otasaka asks his elder brother Shinsuke about his future plans. Inspired, Shinsuke decides to create Hashinami Academy to protect kids from scientists' experiments. Before he turns entirely blind, Shinsuke does one more time jump, saves everyone, and sets up the school. To ensure safety, he erases Otasaka and Ayumi's memories of him. Kumigami does something similar, building another protective school named Hashinami Academy. In the current time, Nao reveals she and Jojiro always knew Otasaka's real power, stealing abilities from others. As they investigate, they find that once Otasaka uses his power on someone, their ability vanishes forever. Shinsuke asks Otasaka to take his time-traveling ability and use it to prevent Ayumi's death. Otasaka time travels to the day Ayumi was unwell. He quickly informs Nao and others about her collapsing power. He tells Nao he's used the time jump to save Ayumi. He then takes Ayumi's ability before she can cause the fatal accident. The next morning, as Otasaka takes Ayumi to school, Nao, Jojiro, and Yusa try to sneak into the school to help. Jojiro gets caught and Otasaka hides in a locker, while Yusa gets recognized. Ayumi faces her aggressive friend again. Just as things seem dire, Otasaka jumps out of the locker and with Nao's assistance, they save Ayumi. Otasaka and Ayumi are stopped by Kumagami while walking home. He takes them to a hidden base where they meet their brother Shinsuke. After reconnecting, Shinsuke warns Otasaka about Groot's wanting his powers. Shinsuke believes Otasaka should stay in the hideout until the danger is gone. They tour the place and learn it's working on a vaccine to stop special abilities caused by a comet named Charlotte. The comet passes Earth every 75 years, releasing particles that give powers. The vaccine can prevent future powers but can't take away existing ones. Ayumi meets other powered individuals at the facility. As they adapt to their new environment, Kumagami senses another person with abilities. Otasaka wants to go with him to investigate. Otasaka is warned not to go with Kumagami because of potential dangers. However, when Kumagami is taken by Furuki due to threats against Furuki's family, they end up at a suspicious place where Kumagami is attacked for information about others with powers. Shinsuke gets a threatening call demanding Otasaka's exchange for Nao's safety. Despite his fears, Otasaka agrees to rescue Nao and Kumagami. Inside the hideout, Otasaka realizes that using certain powers could harm his trapped friends. An enemy damages Otasaka's eye, preventing him from using his time-altering ability. In desperation, he uses another power, resulting in chaos and his escape with Nao. Sadly, Kumagami dies protecting Nao. Recovering from surgery, Otasaka learns he's been unconscious for 2 days. Visits from friends and family offer some comfort. While talking with his brother on the hospital's roof, both grieve Kumagami's death. Back in his room, Nao suggests that Otasaka use his power-stealing ability to save others from the dangers of their own powers, especially since a comet that gives powers will return. To avoid dangers from power-seeking terrorists, Otasaka considers a plan to absorb others' powers, even if it's uncertain what will happen to him. Without much hesitation, he agrees to Nao's plan, revealing his feelings for her. Nao, surprised and a bit skeptical about their match, still tells him she'll wait for his return. Starting with Nao, Otasaka takes her power of invisibility. He then informs his brother Shinsuke about his intent. Despite objections, Otasaka is resolute. After leaving the hospital, Jojiro and Misa offer their powers to him. He's reluctant, fearing Misa might disappear if he takes Jojiro's power, but she convinces him it's okay. With determination, Otasaka then goes global, collecting powers, even from those yet to fully manifest them. As Otasaka collects more powers, he feels drained and starts to forget things, including moments when he confronts syndicates. With each day, more memories fade, even memories of Nao. However, on days he feels clear-headed, he persists in his quest. His actions become renowned worldwide, and he's labeled the One-Eyed Grim Reaper. During one mission, an assailant injures him with an arrow. Weak and vulnerable, a young girl helps him. He takes her power and asks her to leave for safety. Drained, he collapses, and his brother rescues him, taking him back to Japan. When Otasaka regains consciousness, he recalls nothing. Nao introduces herself as his girlfriend, but he can't remember her. Despite the pain, Nao warmly welcomes him home. The story concludes with Otasaka surrounded by loved ones, vowing to cherish happy times. If you enjoyed this, remember to like, subscribe, and activate notifications for more content. See you soon and stay safe.